Welcome to the Master Passive Income Podcast, where we talk about investing in real estate rental properties with a special focus on making enough money so you can quit your job and live the dream life. And now, here is your host, Dustin Heiner.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Master Passive Income Show. My name's Dustin Heiner, and I'm here to help you learn how to quit that JOB, that just over broke job, by investing in real estate rental properties so you never, ever have to work a job again. Now, I love the idea of house hacking, and that's what I want to talk to you about today. Now, the previous episode, I just interviewed one of my coaching students, and go back and listen to it. He's actually living in Alaska, living the dream life, but he house hacked his way into Alaska. Super fantastic. Living up in Alaska, fishing every day. He loves it. He's house hacking. His duplex is overlooking beautiful ocean and mountain views and everything. It's fantastic. And he also lives in it for free. Now, what's great is obviously Alaska is beautiful. I physically live in Phoenix, and I just got to tell you one thing that I learned about Phoenix. Now, you know, sometimes you wake up really early in the morning. Let's say you want to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. For whatever reason, if you want to wake up at 5:30, 5 o'clock, somewhere that early, you want to take a nice cold shower to wake you up. I do like to take cold showers because it really shocks you. It makes you wake up and stop being sleepy. Well, I realized in Phoenix, there's no such thing as a cold shower in the summertime because the ground is so stinking hot. Now, I literally don't even use the hot water anymore. I could probably even just turn off my water heater in Phoenix in the summertime because the water is already so hot. So you turn it on cold, it's hot. And so I just had to say that. So it's a stark contrast between Alaska and Phoenix. But I love Phoenix. I'll go running right in the middle when it's like 110 outside. I'm weird. I'm really weird. I really love the heat. It's really, really fun. But it would be fantastic to house hack in a certain area of the country that I want to live. Let's say if I want to move up to Wyoming or Idaho, which I actually am really considering moving up to Montana and house hacking into, living in this place. Well, I really don't need to anymore. This is how I would if I were starting all out. This is how I would start investing if I were to start from scratch. So let's talk about house hacking. House hacking is probably the best way to get started investing in real estate. Now, I have 30 plus properties, and looking back now, I wish I would have started with house hacking. See, I didn't, but now, as I'm looking back now, I see all the amazing reasons why we should start with house hacking. And what house hacking basically is, you are having somebody else live in a portion of your house, paying you money every single month, and it helps you to actually pay off your mortgage or pay your bills. Now, it could be like a spare bedroom. It could be a whole nother unit, like if you have a duplex. This is the best way to get started investing. I will tell you everything on how to do it and why you should do it and everything like that. And I want to show you how to invest in real estate rental properties, even how to house hack, how to find properties, how to fund or get money for the properties, how to build the business, how to make it automatic, and how to quit your job. I want to give you a free course. If you text the word rental to 33777, RENTAL to 33777, or if you check in the description, I will actually have it link in there, masterpassiveincome.com/free course. I will literally give you a free course showing you how to do all of that stuff because I really want you to learn how to house hack, how to start investing in real estate. Now, I personally love the idea of having somebody else pay for my own personal mortgage. Now, we learned a long time ago from Rich Dad, Poor Dad that there is good debt and then there's bad debt. Good debt puts money in your pocket. Bad debt takes money out of your pocket. If you have a house that you live in and you're paying a mortgage, you are actually having bad debt unless somebody's paying you money to live in that house with you. And this is the beauty of house hacking. See, if you own a house and it makes you money, puts money in your pocket, that's good debt. If you own a house and you live in it, but it doesn't make you money, that's bad debt. Hopefully it's not convoluted, but good debt puts money in your pocket. Bad debt takes money out. Let me give you an example of how this could actually work out. I have a real estate coaching student. I coached him how to invest in real estate, how to buy his properties. What he did was he wanted to move to Alaska and live there rent-free. Working with him, I showed him that he can buy a house and actually have somebody else pay him, and he can live there rent-free. What he did was he actually found a duplex. It's a top and bottom duplex overlooking the ocean. It's actually amazing. I've actually been there. He became a friend of mine after coaching with him. I go up there and go fishing with him, and his house is absolutely amazing, overlooking beautiful Alaska ocean forest all around him, and he is got an oceanfront view. super awesome. There is a tenant that lives in the top unit. He lives in the bottom unit. His mortgage is only like $800 or $850 a month, and he's charging his tenant that lives above him like $1,200 or $1,300 a month. So number one, the tenant is paying for the mortgage. Number two, he's making money on top of that. Number three, all the other expenses are paid for. And so his mortgage is being paid off. The principal and the interest and everything else is getting paid for by the tenant, and he is living there rent free. And this is something you can absolutely do. Now, there are so many great reasons why you should invest in a house hacking opportunity. And the first great thing about house hacking is you actually get much better types of loans. I'll give you a first one. An FHA loan. You can actually utilize an FHA loan. It's a Federal Housing Administration loan, and only put 3.5% down on a property. Let's say you're going to buy a $200,000 duplex, which is the example I just gave you from my friend, student turned friend in Alaska. Bought it for $200,000. He only put 3.5% down, which is only $7,000 that he had to put down for this property. Just put down $7,000, moved into it, got a tenant in the upstairs one, and now he's not paying another dime for that property. So he only put $7,000 down. This tenant is going to pay off the rest of the $200,000 that he owes. So that's the first one. Another one is you're going to get great interest rates. Great interest rates because investment properties are higher interest rates. If it's a single family home that you're going to live in, it's lower interest rates. Right now, interest rates are fairly low. So you're probably going to get, as a homeowner, buying your own duplex, triplex, or fourplex, or a house that has a basement that you can rent out, or an extra room you can rent out, you're going to get good interest rates, maybe like 3%, maybe even below that, or 3.5%, something like that. Whereas an investment property would probably be 1 to 2 points higher. So if it's normally 3.5%, an investment property is going to be 5.5%, around there, give or take, depending on your credit and all that sort of stuff. So you're going to get better interest rates on your properties that you're buying. So you're going to save even more money. And another great thing about these loans, it's a 30-year fixed loan. It's probably what you're going to get, which means your payments, your monthly payments are fixed. They're flat. They're not going to go up. But we know over time, our rents go up. So if you own the home for 20 years, if it's originally $1,000 a month in rent, after about 20 years, the rent should have increased to maybe $1,400 a month. But your mortgage payment stayed the same. Your income went up because you can now charge more. And this will help you to get over that fear of buying that first investment property. And it's a built-in investment. What's great is you can move out and then you have another unit you can rent and make money from that property. You also get hands-on experience managing the property. Hands-on experience managing the property, getting tenants in there, making sure they're doing everything right, screening tenants. You have such hands-on on the property that you get so much experience so fast in building that business and treating tenants right, making sure you fix up the property right, knowing what is a good expense, what's a bad expense, and all that sort of stuff. You get hands-on in understanding how to manage property. Another great thing is you are living rent-free. I mean, did I say that from the beginning? Yes. You are living rent-free because if you do it right, your mortgage payments are going to be here, your rents are going to be here. So you're going to be living rent-free, if not making some money. And one of my favorite things is the tenants will be paying your mortgage. I touched on that a little bit, but the biggest thing that I see as they're paying off the mortgage is you paid, and I'll give you an example of my friend. He paid $7,000. My coaching student paid $7,000 for this property. He still owes, if it's a $200,000 house, $193,000 plus interest. He still owes that. He's not going to pay a dime on that. The tenant is now going to be paying every single penny of the rest of that property and every bit of interest and the taxes and the insurance and the repairs and all that sort of stuff because it's all accounted for. Now, in getting started, if you're going to do this yourself, this is the process that I would do. Number one, I would figure out where I would want to buy the property. Obviously, that's simple because you're going to be moving into it. You're going to be house hacking, but I would be looking specifically for a duplex. You could absolutely go for a triplex. That would be great. You can go for a fourplex. That would be great as well. But a duplex is one of the easiest ones. It's so close to a single family home, which most people buy. It's so close to that, but it is one extra unit. When you get to a fourplex, it feels a little more like an apartment complex. So a duplex still feels like a single family home. So if I were starting all over, I would be looking for a duplex. The next thing I would do, the next step I suggest you do, once you find a duplex, what you want to do is you want to get your financing in order. In fact, I would take that back. You want to do this both at the same time. Start getting your financing in order which make sure that you talk to a mortgage broker, you get your FHA all lined out, you get pre-qualified. These are all things, literally the easy thing to do. Call up a mortgage broker. I want to buy a house. I want to use an FHA loan. How do I do it? That's literally all you do. And they'll take care of everything. Oh, sure, I'll, X, Y, and Z. They'll take care of everything. So get that going. Then start looking for duplexes. Looking for duplexes you're going to want to live in because you're going to live in there for a little bit. Eventually you'll move out and you'll have that 2 properties to rent. You move into another one. So as I'm doing that, I'm getting the financing ready. I'm finding the properties. Then at the same time, what I may be doing is looking for realtors, looking for wholesalers or somebody else that can actually send me properties. So I'm going to have the financing. And as soon as I have the property, I can jump on that property. Now, I would also, like I said, make sure that you get an FHA loan. You get as little money down payment as possible. I mean, if it's a $100,000 house, you're only gonna be paying $3,500 for that property. It's super awesome. You also account for all the expenses, all the mortgage, the insurance, the taxes, the any fees, utility fees, all that sort of stuff. You account for all that. Then what you wanna do, once you find a property, you figure out how much you could rent each unit for. More than likely, they're very similar, so it should be the same price. But you want to know how much you could rent the property for. And then you could run your numbers. That's the next step. Run the numbers to know that you're going to be making money every single month, or they're going to be paying that mortgage. If you're going to be buying a duplex for $400,000, but you can only rent one side for $1,200, I kid you not, you're not going to make money. I just know from doing so many analyzing so many properties, you're not going to be making money, and you are actually be spending more money into it. You want to find good properties that do cash flow. And the reason why, or the way you're going to do that is by running the numbers. Quickly walk you through it. And I even have a calculator on my site. If you go to Master Passive Income at the very, very top, there's a resources. Click on the resources. There's a calculator in there, shows you how to do this. But all you do, account for every single expense. Add up expense. Add them all up. Get your total. Let's say your expenses are $800 every single month, including your mortgage and taxes and insurance and all that sort of stuff. You then make sure your rents could be higher than that by, let's say, $100, $200, $300, because it's a property that you're going to be renting and living in at the same time. Once you run those numbers and you know you're going to be living rent-free, then it's a good deal. Let's move forward on it. Now, as you're moving forward, what you're going to then do is put the realtor and the mortgage broker together. Basically say, hey, I'm going to buy this house. Mortgage broker, talk to my realtor, work together. Let's get the financing done. They literally do all of it for you. Now, they're going to get paid on the seller proceeds, which is totally great, but you're not paying out of your own pocket right away. So here's the great thing is now you're buying a duplex. Once you have that duplex with an FHA loan, you literally move into it and then you start screening tenants. Now, here's the big pro tip I'm going to give everybody. You must do a background check on every single person you potentially want to get in your property. Pro tip is do a background check. Credit check, criminal history check, everything. Check everything. I kid you not, I used to not do it, and I've lost so much money doing it. I'm trying to save you a lot of money. Do a background check on every single tenant that's going to be looking at the property. You want to make sure that they're going to be good tenants. Now, once you do that, then you move that tenant in. Now, here's the trick to actually grow your business even more. Getting more rental properties, building your business from this one house hack to do it again over and over again. Remember, now here's the track with me here. We bought the first house with an FHA loan. Now, you can only have one FHA loan on your credit at a time. Once you buy that house with an FHA loan, gets you in at 3.5% down, which is great, gets that going. I personally then, to grow that business, would refinance that property. I would refinance that property out of that FHA loan, put it into a regular mortgage that's a fixed flat rate, decent interest rate as well, but you got out of that 3.5% loan. Now you have an extra spot for an FHA loan. So once it's now in a new mortgage without being FHA, you can then buy another house, a second duplex with your FHA loan using that low down payment of, let's say, 3.5%, which would be a $100,000 property, would only be $3,500. You then now have two duplexes. You move out of the first one and you move into the second one. Now you have two properties with 4 units. You're only living in one, and you've only put 3.5% down for both properties. Then you now have 3 units making you money. Now you're not just living rent-free, now you're making money on top of it. Now here's another thing. You can do this again. You can literally refinance this second property. Take this second property, put it into a conventional loan, refinance it, get ready for another property that's going to be an FHA loan. So once you have no FHA loans on your credit, go out and buy another property with an FHA loan and keep moving up. And where you have the duplex, move into the next duplex. Have that duplex, move into the next one, and do that until you literally can't do it anymore. I think it's probably about 4 mortgages that they're going to start saying, hey, I'm a little concerned about you getting so many mortgages, but I'm making money. I got so many properties that are making me money. That's how you can house hack to grow your business, to actually start investing, start at a really, really great young age. Like if you're thinking about buying a house and you want to invest, this is a fantastic option. In fact, if I were to start all over again, this is absolutely what I would do. Now, let me give you some other quick tips on how you can house hack without, like let's say you already had a house or you didn't want to buy a duplex or you couldn't buy a duplex because you didn't live in an area that had duplexes. Let me give you some quick ways that you can do house hacking, not necessarily pay all of your mortgage or all of your rent, but you can actually get people coming in and paying you money. Let's say you have a spare bedroom. You can absolutely rent that spare bedroom out. You can either do it long-term where somebody lives in there long-term, or you can do an Airbnb model. Airbnb is where somebody stays for like 2 nights and then leaves. And that's literally how Airbnb got started. It was air bed and breakfast, like air mattress. You basically put an air mattress. This is how they started their business. I actually did a little bit of research. It was fun learning about how they started. But it was basically an air mattress in their living room, and people would come and pay to live and sleep on their bed, their air mattress. And then they fold it up and put it away when the person's gone. That got them idea of like, man, we can actually do this as a business model, getting people staying in other people's houses. You can absolutely do that. You can also absolutely do it long-term. Like somebody wants to, hey, I'm in town for 3 months because of college. I need a room to live in. Okay, here's a room. You can live in there. You can use the kitchen, but here's the rent. That's one way to get into house hacking, is renting out a room. Another way is if you have a basement or an attic where you can furnish and have somebody be able to access that and live in there and pay you rent. That's another great way, because let's say you have a basement. You can actually put a kitchen in there. Hopefully you can put a kitchen and a bathroom and a bedroom in there. That's a full unit. That's actually like almost as good as having a duplex. That is fantastic. Same thing with an attic. If you can actually do something really well, like especially putting a bathroom in there, you're going to do really, really well at renting out that property as a creative way to house hack. And let me give you a quick professional tip on the types of duplexes that are better. Now, they're both good, but one is usually better than the other. I personally believe if you have a side-by-side duplex where the unit is standalone side-by-side and this unit is stand-by-side and they're connected, that is better than a top and bottom duplex. And the reason why is you're going to have somebody living on top of the other. You're going to get less rents because they're going to be like, oh, I got to have somebody living above me. It just doesn't feel as good. Or I got to have somebody living below me. It doesn't feel as good. If you were to go out and get a duplex, I personally recommend doing a side-by-side where you have two units next to each other where they each have their own door. They're just separated by a wall next to them, not a floor and a ceiling. And that's how you house hack. That's how you actually get started at a young age, or even just get started with very little money. Is house hacking. Super fantastic way. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I want to get you so much great real estate investing. And get my free course as well. Text the word rental to 33777 or check in the description, masterpassiveincome.com/free course. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one.